good, YouTube? Sensational Sincere's here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for December 20th, 2019's reset. So let's get right into this and see what we got good for this week. Alright, so for our first gear items, we're going to head over to Camp Hudson. Here, the weapons vendor has an AUG A3 Para XS with a gear score of 272. It has 19% crit hit chance, and the talents it has is Fierce, Skilled, and Unforgiven. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Hudson. The gear vendor here has a tactical pack with the talent Specialized on there. It has a gear score of 273. The armor is 1,200. It's rolled for stamina 1,214, and the attributes it has is skill power and ammo capacity. And then also here we got a prototype firearms mod with 197 firearms and 3% damage to elites. And then also here we have a prototype performance mod with 4% sticky bomb damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to the base operations. Here, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a military AK-47M with a gear score of 267. It has 22% enemy armor damage, and the talents it has is Talented, Determined, and Deadly. And then also here we got a prototype performance mod with 5.50% first aid self-heal. And then also here we got a heavy magazine spring with 2.50% crit hit chance, 12% magazine size, and 10.20% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations, and the gear vendor here has the operator mask with the talent Tenacious on there. It has a gear score of 282. The armor is 978. It's rolled for stamina 1,249, and the attributes it has is all resistance and blind death resistance. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head to the advanced weaponry vendor, and we got an MP7 with a gear score of 270. It has 21.50% crit hit chance, and talents it has is Talented, Determined, and Skilled. Also here we got a classic RPK 74 with a gear score of 273. It has 20% damage to targets out of cover, and the talents it has is Vicious, Dominant, and Fierce. Also here we got an extended magazine with 114.50% magazine size, 3% crit hit chance, and 5% reload speed. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and we got a Historian here with a gear score of 272. It has 157% headshot damage, and the talents it has is Sustain, Deadly, and Historian repeats. Also here we got a Black Market SASG-12S with a gear score of 277. It has 312.50% stagger, and the talents it has is Determined, Destructive, and Vicious. Also here we got a Spec Ops gloves with the talent Savaged on there with a gear score of 270. It has 977 armor. It's rolled for stamina 1,156, and the attributes it has is crit damage, shotgun damage, and enemy armor damage. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to the Cavern. Here, the gear vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Specialized on there. It has a gear score of 273. The armor is 1,250. It's rolled for stamina 1,156, and the attributes it has is health and bleed resistance. Also here we got a prototype stamina mod with 261 stamina and 3,261 skill power. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to Camp Clinton. Here, the special equipment vendor here has a operator vest with the talent Vigorous on there. It has a gear score of 273. The armor is 1,883. It's rolled for electronics 1,198, and the attributes it has is health, all resistance, and ammo capacity. Also here we got some operator gloves with the talent Savaged on there. It has a gear score of 262. The armor is 888. It's rolled for electronics 1,141, and the attributes it has is SMG damage, crit hit chance, and pistol damage. Also here we got an extended magazine with 118% magazine size, 2.50% crit hit chance, and 5.10% rate of fire. Also here we got an SR7 suppressor with 17% crit hit damage, 6% headshot damage, and 3% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to Autumn's Hope. Here the gears vendor has a Gunslinger's gloves with the talent Savaged on there. It has a gear score of 279. The armor is 959. It's rolled for electronics 1,209, and the attributes it has is SMG damage, crit hit chance, and skill haste. And then also here we have a prototype stamina mod. It's kind of low, but I figured I'd mention it. 249 stamina and 1% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to West 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops armor with the talent Vigorous on there. It has a gear score of 270. The armor is 1,773. Its roll for stamina 1,250. And the attributes it has is health on kill, health, and ammo capacity. And then also here we have a prototype electronics mod with 254 electronics and 3,285 health. For our next gear item, is going to head over to West 39th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops pack with the talent Inventive on there. It has a gear score of 278. The armor is 1,317. Its roll for firearms 1,262. And attributes it has is crit hit damage and ammo capacity. For our next gear item, is going to head over to West 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4.50% ballistic shield damage resilience. For our next gear item, is going to head over to West 46th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a lightweight M4 with a gear score of 277. It has 19% enemy armor damage. And the talents it has is determined, capable, and destructive. I figured I'd mention this if somebody want to use it for some PvE missions. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 2% pulse crit hit damage. For our next gear item, is going to head over to East 64th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 262 stamina and 2,878 health. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 7.50% support station duration. For our next gear item, is going to head over to East 61st Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 4% crit hit damage, 4.50% reload speed, and 10.80% rate of fire. And then also here we have a rugged mini reflex sight with 7.50% crit hit chance, 6% headshot damage, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear item, is going to head over to East 58th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has an operator mask with the talent Enduring on there. It has a gear score of 275. The armor is 987. Its roll for stamina 1,195. And the attributes it has is crit hit chance and disorient resistance. Also here we got an operator vest with the talent Rapid on there. It has a gear score of 273. The armor is 1,728. Its roll for firearms 1,257, and the attributes it has is skill haste, health on kill, and ammo capacity. For our next gear item, is going to head over to East 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Refreshed on there. It has a gear score of 271. The armor is 985. Its roll for stamina 1,130, and the attributes it has is exotic damage resilience and disorienting resistance. And then also here we got a prototype performance mod with 5% sticky bomb explosion radius. For our next gear item, is going to head over to East 40th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a lightweight M4 with a gear score of 280. It has 19% enemy armor damage, and the talents it has is focused, responsive, and meticulous. And also here we got a Spec Ops pack with the talent Specialized on there. It has a gear score of 270. The armor is 1,227. Its roll for firearms 1,182. And the attributes it has is skill power and disrupt resistance. And then also here we got a prototype performance mod with 7% Seeker Mine explosion radius. For our next gear item, is going to head over to East 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a loud vent break with 17% crit hit damage, 5.50% headshot damage, and 3% crit hit chance. For our next gear item, we're going to head over to DZ2 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Refreshed on there. It has a gear score of 266. The armor is 957. Its roll for firearms 1,119. And the attributes it has is health on kill and damage to elites. Also here we got an operator vest with the talent Reckless on there. It has a gear score of 263. The armor is 1,737. Its roll for stamina 1,144. And the attributes it has is enemy armor damage, exotic damage resilience, and increased kill XP. For our next gear items, you're going to head over to DZ3 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has an MP5 ST with a gear score of 270. It has 22.50% crit hit chance. And the talents it has is accurate, adept, and vicious. For our next gear item, is going to head over to DZ8 Safe Room. Here, the Dark Zone Gear Vendor has a tactical pack with a talent Inventive on there. It has a gear score of 268. It has 1,213 armor. Its roll for firearms 1,191, and the attributes it has is stability and disrupt resistance. And then I'll just mention this because I'm here. We got operator's gloves with the talent Savaged on there. It has a gear score of 270. The armor is 883. Its roll for electronics 1,256, and the attributes it has is crit hit damage, health on kill, and pistol damage. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video for December 20th, 2019's reset. I hope everybody who tuned into it found something that they needed. And I want to thank everybody who's coming through to watch the videos. I appreciate that support. Thank you for dropping those likes. I appreciate that. And subbing to the channel. I appreciate that. And I will see y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace.